Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to VE Universe. I'm your humble host, Victor V, bringing to you another amazing video. Today, we are going to continue with the major deal between Blank Check Company, also known as SPAC, Special Purpose Acquisition, and that's Churchill Capital 4. So breaking news reaching my decks from Bloomberg Terminal again, stating that there will be a definitive agreement next week, more practically on Tuesday. So now you see things are coming together, getting close to a deal. When this happens on Tuesday, guess what? The share price of Cciv will go parabolic. So today, I'll be going, we'll be looking into the breaking news from Bloomberg Terminal. Secondly, we will hear from Klein, the investor banker behind the 15 billion major deal. And last but not the least, we'll look at how to play SPACs. Because remember, SPACs are different from the traditional IPO. You have the pre-merger, the post-merger. So we're going to look at the future. So now, why don't we head over to the breaking news? My YouTube analytics shows that over 75% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel yet. So please press on the red juicy subscribe button and smash the bell icon to be notified anytime I upload a new video. The breaking news. The breaking news between Churchill Capital 4 and Lucid Motors. So we are right in front of Silicon Valley Business Journal. So Lucid Motors plan to go public could be announced Tuesday. Okay, that sounds good to me. Let's scroll down. After weeks of speculation, a deal to take Newark-based Lucid Motors Inc. public reportedly could be announced as early as Tuesday. Okay, that sounds good. So last month, another report from Bloomberg set up speculative investment in Churchill Capital Corp 4, a special purpose acquisition company, SPAC, reportedly involved, driving its market cap up to 13.7 billion. But the report we are having right now is 15 billion. Is that good or is that bad? A story from that Churchill founder Market Klein was trying to raise between 1 billion to 1.5 billion in funding from institutional investors to support the transaction. So that's what we see from Silicon Valley. So now, why don't we head over to Yahoo? Again, the same news. Lucid Motors is set to near deal to go public via a SPAC. Okay, you can see how nice the car looks. We have Lucid Air, Lucid Dream. So again, citing Bloomberg, Lucid Motors Inc. is nearing a deal to go public through a merger with a blank check company started by investment banker Michael Klein that could be announced early next week, according to people familiar with the matter. The combined entity will be valued at as much as 15 billion. The people said asking not to be identified because the matter is private. So it's still kept, private. But what's our interest in this page? It's right here. A deal for the electric vehicle maker could be announced on Tuesday. So everything is boiling down to Tuesday. So we have the report coming from Bloomberg Terminal. We have it in Yahoo. We also have it in Silicon Valley. When we have all this news coming up, there is a potential or a probability that it's going to happen. And when that happens, investors will be either cashing out or buying in pre-merger, post-merger. That's what they will be looking for. So now, why don't we, head over and listen to what Michael Klein, the investor banker behind the 15 billion merger deal, got to say. To learn how to invest in the stock market like a pro, I mean like a real pro, enroll to my online course today, which is called Growing Well with Stocks. The link is in the description below.
Or, from what you've been describing to me, you're very careful about, these working financially. What's your view on both that shift happening in general in the SPAC market and whether or not you guys are interested in owning something like that?
Sure. Listen, we're looking at companies throughout the entire life cycle, from very early in their development to very later in their process of being leveraged buyouts and needing deleveraging to grow. We had the benefit of being able to, on Skillsoft, use a debt restructuring to eliminate $1.5 billion of debt before we even touched the asset. We drove that for our own benefit, and the company partnered with us in doing that. But we look at the whole life cycle of companies, and what we stick to fundamentally is, one, companies that should be public will take public. You can't bring a quote company that should always be private in the public. It has to have tailwinds in the industry sector. It has to be a growing company organically and or have the ability to grow inorganically. We have to have great trust in the management and leadership. We have to have operating partners, and we have many operating partners that have great knowledge of those areas of great growth today in mobility, as well as in other areas.
To know and understand which stock to buy, which is fundamental analysis, to also know when to sell the stock, which is technical analysis, plus one-on-one phone call with me and a portfolio update, join my Patreon group, link in the description below. Okay, so now we'll be looking at how to place SPACs and the future. The future for Cciv and Lucid Motors. First, we have to understand that SPAC, that special purpose acquisition, it's a blank check company. It's completely different from a traditional IPO. The main purpose of the blank check company is to merge when there is a definitive agreement with any startup company to go public. Not every startup company got all the, 500 million or the 1 billion to meet the criteria of the stock exchange. So the easy part, which is the trend right now, is to go through a SPAC. And with this SPAC, they raise funds. So these are a group of investors, coming in together. They start raising money, 200 million, 300 million, 500 million, until when they think it's ready to look for a company and they merge. Normally, once there is a definitive agreement, or once the SPAC is created, the SPAC comes out, even without the definitive agreement, the SPAC has 12, so they have 24 months to execute a deal. If they cannot find a company to merge, they have another additional 12 months. So that makes it 36 months in total. If at that point they still don't have someone to merge, guess what? They will have to dissolve that SPAC. Now let's talk about the life cycle of a SPAC. Once a SPAC is announced, that's the first point. Now, if they have a definitive agreement, that's step number 1 in the life cycle. So we see those examples. In this case, if Cciv make a definitive announcement with Lucid Motors, that's one. We saw that with Vector IQ with Nikola. We saw that with Hyliion and Tortoise Acquisition. So that's where it initially started. And at that point, the share price is a little bit over $10 because the millions that they are bringing, the 500 million, the 1 billion, sets a support. So it starts from just over $10. And then after that, the second phase is if they have a major date. When they announce a major date, that's the second point, the share price will move. Now, after the major date, the next is when they officially merge, when the ticker symbol will change from the SPAC to the startup company. That's now when they completely merge and it's now converted to the startup company. That point is considered as the post-merger. When that happens, guess what? Investors are rushing to cash out because on most part, the exchange will not be looking at the 500 or the 1 billion that the SPAC is bringing in. Now they look at the startup company. What value do they have? If they already have products, like in this case, Lucid Motor is coming with the Lucid Air, the Dream, that's a good thing. That's why people are rushing, because they're going to start selling April, May, which is second quarter. If they don't have any product, like in the case of Nikola, guess what? It's going to dip. So you will see a 20, 30, 40% dip. But on the most part, on average, 20 to 30% dip. Once that happens, investors who decide to go in now, they are going in for a long term. So that's how SPACs operate on a nutshell. But looking at Cciv, as you can see, I have a candlestick here. It went right up to the upper 664, and then there was a pullback, which most people were thinking, you know, stop loss was set up by some institution. It came down to 52.94 cents. So moving forward, if there is a merger or a definitive agreement on Tuesday, which means at that point they will officially also announce when they will officially merge, the price will be going parabolic. So that's something you have to take into consideration. Which brings us to the end of this video. If you find it valuable, subscribe, give me thumbs up. Drop me a comment down below. What do you think? Do you think Tuesday, it will happen on Tuesday or next week? Or what future do you think with Cciv? Until then, I will see you on the next video. Have a nice day. Goodbye now.